Hey guys, so I didn't record getting the fabric for the shift boot and the e-brake boot glued onto those plastic pieces because I was just trying to hurry up and get them back in my car so that I could go out cruising into car meets on Friday. But I'll insert a little clip right here. Sorry, my car's a little messy at the moment, but so here's the shift boot. I got my ponytails already on there, but here it is. Looks pretty nice. And then here's the e-brake boot. It does kind of stretch out a little tight, but it works and it looks great. I was able to get them glued on just fine onto the plastic pieces, but that's how they look now. Right now, I just pulled the pillars out, the A and B pillars that are right in the front. I just pulled them out so that I could switch the fabric on these. I'm currently pulling off the flowers, and then I will be sketching out, cutting it out, and then gluing it onto these pillars. And then I'll move on to the back pillars, and then I'm going to take the headliner out and do that. So right now I'm just going to tear off the fabric off of these pillars first. I'm gonna have to say, if you want your fabric to really stick, use the 3M headliner adhesive because this is a pain in the ass to get off. Okay, so I got the second one all done, but I think I'm gonna go get some light grit sandpaper. I hope I can find some in the garage, just to kind of like sand this down a little bit and put the new interior or the new fabric on. So let's go look out in the garage, see if we can find any. So since I couldn't find any sandpaper to kind of sand it down, I got this like rougher kind of sponge and then some heavy duty cleaner, and I'm just gonna try to clean off as much as I can and then start on the fabric. Okay, so I once again didn't get it on camera. I'll get it on camera with my next one. But I traced out a rough outline on the black fabric of the pillar. So it looks like this, and again I used a white colored pencil, and I kind of just laid it down with the pillar like this because I have the fabric with the actual knife side facing down, so that when I put it on, the right side of the fabric will go on top correctly. So it's, if that makes any sense. And then when I cut it out, I just gave it like a good inch and a half on the outside so I could properly wrap it around the edges. So I'm going to lay the fabric on there and start gluing it down. Okay, so I sprayed the adhesive. I'm just using Scotch Super 77 multi-purpose adhesive by 3M. Just got this at Walmart. And then, so what I did was I sprayed the whole entire pillar with it, and then I air dried it. I just used this coloring book my daughter uses. I just dried it a little bit so it'd get tacky. And then I just laid it over where I think everything would be covered. And I just started going from the center part out and just slowly pushing down all the sides, all the corners, making sure it's all laid down. And now, because there are clips and parts that need to be cut out, like right here, here's a clip, and then there's just like little places I need to cut spots out for so I can lay it down. And I'm going to trim it up a little bit, and then I will move on to the next one. And then where these like little sharp parts are, I just kind of sliced it as well so that I can tuck it right on here without having any issues. Did that right here and right here. And then I'm going to do the corners up here like I did at the bottom. And then for these, I'm just going to cut the fabric down so that the clip will fit all the way in. Cut at each little thing right here and right here like I did on this side. So the first pillar is all done. I got the inside all tucked in, both sides, on the corners. And now I'm just gonna set this aside and then grab my other pillar. So there's the first one. And now I'm going to work on the other pillar. Where did I put it? So I'll show you guys how I do this pillar. Okay, so for my next pillar, I'm going to show you how I did it. So what I did was I lay it down like this and leave a good amount of gappage on the other side, because when I cut it, it needs to have enough room on that side and then on this side to fold up. And then I trace along the lines of the pillar and then cut, like I said, about an inch and a half around the the tracing. So here's the tracing of the pillar. I use this white colored pencil to just trace it out since it's black fabric. So like I said, I'm going to cut about an inch and a half around the tracing and then start laying it down. Okay, so I just finished the second pillar. I got it all done and glued down, like I did with the first one. I'll show you right now. The second one is all done. All glued down, both sides. And then, so now I have both pillars done. And I don't want to put them back in because I will have to take out the rear pillars and do those, and then my headliner. So there's no point in putting these back in when I have to take the headliner out anyways. So there's tonight's project all finished up.
The next day.
All right, Ali is asleep, so I'm just gonna take this time to actually just take the fabric off these rear pillars really quickly. Okay, so I've got that pillar and that piece over there. So I've got this piece of fabric cut out, and like I said, what I do is I just trace it out and then I cut a good enough amount on the outside so that I can fold it in on the back so it'll stay on pretty good. So I'm going to start gluing it onto the pillar and then cutting any excess off and getting it all perfected. Okay, so I've got the fabric laid out on the first pillar. What I did was I just laid it out onto the pillar And then I worked my way from the middle out and just laid it down. And then some of the corners weren't laying down, so I had to lift them up and then respray the adhesive. And then on the back side, I cut off the excess that obviously was too much. And then like at these little parts where these clips go in, or whatever, I cut slits so that when I lay them down, it just goes in there and doesn't interfere with it. I did it on the other side. These will be more like, I'll probably have to trim these up a little bit more because these are thicker. And then on corners, I split them as well so I can lay them down on top of each other on each corner. Okay, so now I'm just going to spray some adhesive all around the edges and start laying down these edge pieces. So I've got all the edges laid down so that it looks like that.